Thai bodywork therapy is a healing and spiritual art. Its roots are in Ayurveda and yoga. It's a pretty dynamic type of bodywork which combines acupressure with yoga. The idea behind it, we're trying to balance the physical and energetic bodies of the receiver, and it also engages the giver. Both people are involved. It's somewhat of a dance. We use pressure in a very slow, flowing rhythmic sequence along the Zen or Sen lines, using thumbs, hands, forearms, elbows, feet, whatever works. Sometimes we use our full body weight. It's something of a like a passive yoga routine for the receiver. The intention is to release tension in the muscles, the joints, and the mind and the spirit. It also stimulates the internal organs, balances the body energy systems, and it really is helpful to allow somebody to feel better. Ask clients to wear comfortable, loose clothing, and sessions will go for 60 to 90 minutes. Basic history of the type of massage that you've learned or are learning can be traced back to India a long time ago, about 2,500 years ago. A doctor named Javaka Shrivako Kumabhakya, a close friend of the Buddha, and a physician. He did medical things, medicinal powers of herbs and minerals and such. And he's also known as the father of medicine in Thailand. So before doing a Thai massage, a prayer of respect, gratitude, and honor is offered. Om Namo Shivago, related to him. And we often use a different one. Thai massage isn't a luxury for select few people. It's actually for everybody. And in India, it is actually given each day by members of the family. So that would be pretty cool. This is level 1. This course is intended to give you an introduction to this modality and the tools to be able to practice a 60 to 90 minute basic sequence. If you're interested in extending your skill set, I highly recommend that you try the next level. So you're seeing various Thai massage mats, and some of them are comfortable and some of them are not. You can also use a table, and we call that table Thai. The concept of metta, or loving kindness, is what is behind a Thai massage treatment. May all beings be free from future pain and suffering. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe, and may all beings be loved. May our actions contribute to those outcomes. Coming from our heart space. It is essential that you meditate before you give a Thai massage. It is essential that you leave your own situations at the door. Any problems or fears you may have should be let go of. Take a moment now to please close your eyes or soften your gaze. Allow your spine to become taller, shoulders to roll away from the ears, falling down away from the ears. And allow your heart, your body, your mind, your spirit to soften just a bit. Bring images of joy to your heart. Allow your own inner voice, your chitta verde, your busy mind to fall away and begin to connect to the earth. Connecting also to your breath. Feel your breath as expansive. On the inhale, expanding, bringing in life force and energy. As you expand, you bring in kindness, love, and truth. As you exhale and condense, you release that which no longer serves you, allowing it to fall from your awareness. We continue that breath over and over again throughout the treatment. As you're releasing, let yourself soften, let yourself simply be, and begin to connect to both the ground, the earth beneath you, as well as the sky or the divine above. Connect to the truth. Connect to your energy. What is true in this moment? What is real? Sat Nam means I am truth. Maybe you repeat that in your mind a few times, inhaling Sat and exhaling Nam. Allow all the things that don't serve you to fall away. Sometimes I like to think of that as if we were actually like a tree and our roots run deep into the earth. My roots run deep into the earth. And as that happens, it's a two-way. So we allow what we don't need to fall away into the earth, and then we are nourished from the earth, and we draw in with the inhale what we need. Using these images to help us become grounded and able to give from the heart space. May your actions come from the heart. May your words come from the heart. May your eyes soften and give from the heart. Place your hands on your heart. Inhale, exhale. And if you feel ready, then you begin to do the Thai massage. And if you're not ready, then you take your time and make sure that you are in the right heart space. How do you stand and how do you give? The pressure is tricky, but with practice it will come. The first one that I'm showing you is the Neil Diamond seat, and basically a way to kind of use your knuckles. This one is the beginning of palm walking. More palm walking. Palm walking is a slow side-to-side motion. This is a standing position. It's Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. This is Goddess. That would be Traction legs. And in this next one, you can see I'm again approaching with a softness. I don't know what that was. Here's I'm using the fingertips. You'll be using fingertips softly, bent fingertips. Again, that's to use the knuckles. This is a lunge position. You can access your receiver using that position. Neil Diamond seat once again. So that's very helpful to use that seat. Metta, loving kindness to each other. Good. And let's go over some of the, so this is, if you can sit on your heels, sit on your heels. If not, you can put a bolster under, and this is kind of when the legs are this way, it's the Neil Diamond seat. But other positions can be this, crisscross out. I recommend always to warm the wrists up. Like that, gentle pressure. And point the fingers towards each other, heels of the hands together. And then this one with the fingers pointing towards you. Oh, yours go very easily. Soften your elbows, please. And let's see, which way did we do? Oh, this way? I think that this is really important. And you can do, and then you see, so warm your wrists up, warm your fingers up. And so these are the basic motions. So we do the elephant walk, which is palm walking also. Very slow, mindful. Like I've never seen an elephant walk, but I've seen something like this. Oh, maybe. Then you might use fists. That might be something like that. The tops of the fingers go like that. And actually you don't really have to look at your fingers. I was doing the same thing. And thumbs, save your thumbs. Don't use your thumbs unless you absolutely have to. Other positions you'll find yourself in would be this one, which you should know. Warrior. That's good for if you have legs in your hands. And Goddess. Legs in your hands. And one that I like a lot is Jani Shasana, or you bend one leg in, and maybe somebody's head is here. One of the things that we do a lot is the finger waves when you have the head in your hands. And actually I'm going like that, but it's a very slow motion. Less is more. And then once your fingers melt in, you can go a little faster. But honestly, speed isn't something we need. We work with the concept of energy, or chi. Our movement comes from the dantian, that is the power center of the body. Bringing the palms together and sole apart, creating heat and expanding the aura of energy. Energy dump so that your energy is in the way that it needs to be to connect with somebody else. It can be in the form of a meditation, it can be yoga. I highly recommend yoga. It doesn't really matter what you do to release your energy, but before you walk into the room, the treatment room, leave it. And if that isn't possible that day, I would actually even say just cancel. What your practitioner needs to do to care for yourself, you'll burn out real fast doing this if you don't. All right, so you're not, so we need to this way. There we go. And the same way that I said to scoop your hands underneath the head of a person, you want to move it for them if you don't do this properly. You've got the idea that metta comes first. We're going to just softly gaze at her. And because we're doing this video, the lights are pretty bright. Would you like an eye pillow?
Sure.
So make sure somebody's really comfortable. I'm like, oh my gosh, this can't be comfortable. I wouldn't wrap her up too much because then I've got to climb around inside the blanket, but we don't want people to be cold either. She signed a waiver, and we've gone over any physical, emotional, spiritual problems that she would like to disclose. I'm sure you know about that. And be within your scope of practice. It's not a counseling session. You can't do a counseling session unless you have a degree to do that. So I'm going to start by rubbing my palms together, creating my own heat and energy. And I'm gazing at this lovely being, wishing her love, health, kindness, no more suffering ever. So it is you can call it prayer if that feels like something you would say. Otherwise, it's just an intention. If you're unable to feel that way towards somebody, and as I said in class, then you probably should not work with them and you would screen it first. But in general, I don't anticipate that will happen. Together, so my hands are not warm yet, warning, but they will get. The first introduction, when I touch her the first time, sorry, here we go. I'm going to come in very lightly, very light. Just watching to see any movement. She's just fine, it looks like. And then I'm just going to start rocking side to side. My spine is elongated, my heart is open. So we're starting, I guess we could call it a dance of sorts, especially because it's truly is a dance. But it really is a communication that happens between her fascia and my fascia too, because my hands have fascia. And thumb walking the feet. First, I'd like to move her legs just a bit, and you can offer a blanket. Would you like a blanket?
Sure.
So she's gonna want everything, and that's okay. That's what we're doing, is we're making people comfortable. This will give me, and we don't usually put a bolster under the knees for this particular massage, Thai bodywork, because then you gotta move it. So now I left, I'm back, so I have to kind of do this again. So I'm going to make sure I'm breathing. Sure, let's take a deep breath in together, please. And inhale and exhale. And that's a deep breath. It's a connection. So we've established that. And applying a little bit of thumb walking now. A little bit. I'm watching to see if she's ticklish. Doesn't seem to be. I use a relatively firm pressure with this because a lot of people are ticklish on their feet. I'm trying to kind of know this. So I've never worked on her before, so I don't know her fascia. I don't know her body's story yet, which is interesting. So I'm just getting to know that. And then we start the palm walking. And to begin with, it's just very gentle. I'm rolling this way. So that's the way her legs go. You can do it this way if you want, but this is a very gentle, kind of rocking motion. It's like a hello, what's up? Trying to get 3 palm walks before I come to a knee. And when I find knees, you circle one way and the other. Just nice kneecaps, they move. And then there's 2 in the upper leg. And 2 means both sides. So it's 1, well, it's actually 2 there. And then you can do the blood stop here. Make sure she doesn't have high blood pressure, we check that. And that's pretty firm pressure. And try to get 3 here. So it's 1, 2, 3. Dancers, upper legs. And then the knees one way and the other. And then 2. And then I'm gonna hold her feet, and this is for my back and hers, just a little light traction. Judgment. Professional judgment. So trauma sensitive, I can't say that word. So like I'm finding things in her knees, and it's like, well, yeah, this time stops, so I'm not gonna go any further with that. And you don't do a blood stop with high blood pressure, pregnancy. There's a lot you don't do with pregnancy. You might ask somebody if they're on their moon cycle. Do you know what that means? Yeah, it's a nice way to say it, I think. The outer thigh channel. I think I want to do the outer thigh channel with her first. So I'm not gonna. I'm going to do this leg. Take her leg and bend her leg, and I'm making sure she's not trying to do the work. So you'll know that by if I walk away, yeah, she's trying to do the work, so I'm going to stay for a minute. And then it's the nutcracker. Grab the thigh crease, just pulling back. No. You can do this more than 3 times. And don't take everything so literal. And then this was nice to kind of do it this way. And you're opening your heart. But if you don't like that one, you can just come here. And it feels. How does that feel? And that's something you want to ask. How does that feel this way? Feels good. And sometimes people are like, leave me alone, I don't talk about it. And you know. And then I'm gonna do the nutcracker at the leg crease, and then I'm gonna kind of bring it towards, in a diagonal, towards something. It's hard to describe. Well, you guys can see. Now, I can't. So now this is her gastrocnemic heads. There were 2 gastrocs. And I'm gonna go in here for sartorius first. Just kind of see how that feels. So it's right in the middle of the 2, the gastrocs is not the name for them. And then I'm gonna kind of, so I'm using the pincer grip kind of, to kind of feel that whole muscle way to tell that these legs get a lot of use, work. You wanna make sure things come away from the bone and not compressing anything. See, I don't know if you can see, but see how that whole calf just comes with me? It's kind of nice. Keep the foot anchored so that doesn't come too. So we can open up the outer leg channel now, or we can do this, because this is what I want to do. So we bend the knee. So please don't get hung up on doing it exactly the right order. You can kind of roll with it, but just make sure what you do on one side, you do on the other. And I'll put her into a tree. And then I'm going to notice, okay, what's her range of mobility? Looks pretty comfortable. If her knee was up like that, then maybe I'll put something under it, because I don't want to be uncomfortable. And yes, my hands up for a second. So am I gonna go in the inner channel? Not right now. So this outer channel, this is right here, I'll use just thumbs. A random time that I use thumbs. And if I find that I'm doing that, then I've got to come to an angle, doing that. And I'm not gonna use thumbs. So use fists, use whatever feels right to make that little division. And so her IT band, I mean, you're not gonna know all of this right away. It's probably giving more information than you want, but yeah, it's a little stuck. So I'm gonna kind of do that. Just pulling it away a little bit. So whatever you do on one side, make sure you do on the other. That's probably more important than making sure you do a sequence perfectly. So I'm in a yoga lunge, and just kind of going this way. So can't really see my back leg, but I'm getting a nice stretch right now, which I needed at this point. And I'm gonna reach for her pectoral muscle, and it's not getting her much stretch. So we'll come to this another way, but you can slip your hand under the lower back, and then I feel she's getting some release there. And she's stretchy. Stretchy people are harder to do massage with, Thai massage, but they like it too. And then I'm just gonna double check my feet at her hips. Yeah, take this off you to see if she's not like solidly, like she trusts this moment. So that's good. And then I'll take her hand and her foot. This is like boat pose. You guys know boat pose. And I'll just walk on her. And be careful too, you're not like, I'm sorry, holding on to her hand too much. Scoot back a little. And I'm just gonna walk in this outer channel. So when I did it with my fingers, I didn't get very far. So I'm pushing this muscle up and in a little bit. And I don't know how it feels. How's the pressure? Feels good. So if she said it didn't feel good, then I would say, okay, more or less pressure, and she would hopefully tell me. Yeah. So the more stretchy somebody is, it is more work. But use your body. Don't use your hands. You'll burn out real fast. I'm trying to figure out whether she turns her toes in or out. Or she just both ways. So giving her leg a little love, a little rock and roll. A lot. So this is something you can do. I mean, please don't get so caught up in being perfect. You know, there is no real perfect. I'm really, even though I'm talking completely, I haven't stopped, I'm really tuning into what is present in this body. And remember the 7 layers of fascia? Did we talk about that? I can't remember. Okay, so 7 layers of fascia. So I'm gonna pick, because I established a rapport, trust here, I think. Yeah, you guys did that for your own self. So I'm coming above her knee just to feel what the dance might be like. As my fingers just go into the fascia. Okay, it's an emotion. Remember, there's emotions in the fascia, in the core tissue, in the cells. So it's a little slow for me to get in, and that's okay, because I probably picked a weird place to do this, but. And now I'm in the 4th, 5th, and now it's like, okay, I'm in, yay. And then I'll just check for adhesions, so just go side to side, back and forth. So where is it harder to move? And I found that, so that's why I'll just go over like in. This way was easier. And I could have just been like, well, she's a dancer, so of course her toes go out, but I wanted to make sure. Okay. And when I come to the other leg, I'm attempting to not leave at all, staying present, being here for her. Yeah, I'm just gonna come back here. But see, I'm not following this exactly because it's hard to do that anyway. Right? Follow a particular prescription, and everybody's different. And it's always nice to, at this point, just traction the lower back. It feels good for me and hopefully for her. So watching her face for any signs of grimacing, because lots of times people are like, oh no, it feels great, but they know this is awful. So you want to make sure you double check. And then this, so one hand comes under the knee, the other one bends it, And I already know she would try to do it for me, so I'm gonna make sure. This time she didn't. So. And I'm just gonna wait a second, because I don't want to be rushing this. Keep my breath going. Nutcracker her upper leg. And then I'm doing 3 of them. This is good for the lower back. Do that. So you can probably see better here. This is an angle. Angle. So usually you'd have music on. I think silence is really hard to do, but you know, like a rainfall or waterfall, an ocean, or you know, those Indian flute things, or whatever, Native American, sorry. Something calming. This seems to really work nice. Here. So see, I went out of order. I don't think she would have known the difference if I didn't say, hey, see, I went out of order. Just in your mind, mental note of what you did on one side and the other. This, I think, feels better for me to go like that. Does this feel any different when I do it this way and this way?
I don't think so.
So make sure you're taking care of yourself too. Yeah, this was a nice stretch for me. I liked it better. So if you want to keep doing this, I like it. Now this is when I use this pincer grip. So I'm really getting a nice muscle in my hand. Moving it one way and then the other. And I guess you could do this thing too if you like that. Open your heart. So I notice a lot of times in these trainings people will be doing this. And they're really looking at it. It's like they're kneading dough. So let it be a flow. I'm sure she didn't love it when I was kneading her dough. Her muscle. And then I brought this knee up. I really was kind of seeing what her flexibility was too. And I'm like, okay, we're all set there. During this tree pose. And just notice how this leg is, it's almost to the earth, so you know this isn't gonna help her to do too much to try to bring it down, it's already there. So when I open this leg channel on the other side, but it's really stuck right there. So you'll start to notice these things. You're probably like, how do you know it's stuck? Because there's no division right there. There should be. Doesn't make her a bad person, it's just this leg comes up. And then I come into a lunge. Make sure this happens with me as I sickle my back foot. Not good for me, so make sure I don't do that. And this really doesn't do a heck of a lot for her. Like that, maybe it's a little bit. But yeah, sometimes, you know, you will touch the person with your body, and it's really okay. If you're uncomfortable with it, you know, be mindful not to. And that's where she gets a nice amount of stretch. So I did that, I need to be here. Bring all the way back. A little more traction. It seemed to be with Julia, I keep going back. Oh, I forgot to do something. Oh. So if I didn't say that, she probably wouldn't know. I mean, I would know. Then I'm gonna do it that way. Do you know what I forgot to do? Yeah, see, so she doesn't know, but you know, for my own self, I'm gonna make sure that we keep the balance. It's this one. I already know she's here. But actually, there's a reason I didn't do it, is because when I did the walking here, it wasn't effective for her. Kind of gonna just do that. The other nice thing for Julia is the so I would never just go talk to a camera. You know, I'm gonna use this. And I'll come up onto my knees, and I'm not gonna use my body too much. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna use my arms. My body's rolling with her. The quadricep. Yes. These knees up. So coming at the other side, I'm gonna palm walk a little bit. Not particularly graceful, but try not to break the contact. So this is a bone there. Usually we don't cut somebody else's bone, but use your elbows, anything you can to save yourself. Because if you use your fingers all the time, they will wear out. And then you will not be practicing this anymore. Yeah. This side only?
Yeah, my thighs are.
So when somebody touches tender, give them a little rockin', but also make a mental note that can be many things. Right? She could have danced her herself silly today or whatever, or it could be something else. And be very gentle with that. Yeah. I know some of you are uncomfortable with the toe walking on the inner leg. If you're uncomfortable with it, your receiver's gonna know that, so don't do it. She really likes this, I can tell. I like it. That's a blooper. I'll leave it in. So I'm gonna come into a lunge here. I mean a warrior one. It's only 11 o'clock, right? So she's pretty good here. So let's say she's trying to hold her leg up, then I'm gonna do this like several times. She's not. I'm gonna pull this. Then I'm gonna take care of me, okay? This, no. This way, my heart's open. And yeah, I get a workout when I do these. And then to keep me balanced, I do the other one. So I'm not grabbing her leg, I'm not like, it's just traction. And then you can walk to one side. Not everybody can go this way. Everybody's body has that range of motion. After the circles. I'm watching for, the circle was fine with her, and then you go in. Yeah, we skipped the baby, I think. And then to lower the legs, keep the traction going. And then you release there. Stepping on feet, you can do this both times. Put your hands on your hips. And find the spot where your foot fits. That isn't it. So you can be on your heel, or you can be on your toe. This foot is happy to go this way. So of course I want to make it go the other way. Oh, it goes both ways. Good foot. So I don't know if that's doing anything.
Yeah, I can feel a little bit in my knee.
Yeah, I don't want to feel it in your knee. Yeah. So it would be just like doing, if you know what pigeon is, and the knee is not bent, so I don't want to stress the knee out. So because I do other modalities, I don't follow the sequence all the time, and you don't have to follow the sequence either. So I'm cradling her leg. She honestly doesn't need this, but I'll come all the way out here. I'm leaning back. Does it feel okay?
Yeah.
And because of the range of motion, I'll go as far as is happy for her. That's a little loosen. So let's just come back, and then I swerve it up the other way, lubricate the hip joint. But there's I'm doing a lot of traction with her just by leaning back. And I think that hip compression is a thing. I mean, it happens a lot, especially if somebody's dancing. So I think I had done with you guys this one, and then we transitioned to here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. She's happy to have me do this twice. Maybe. And I remember people being like, where does the leg go? Well, this isn't a perfect fit. So I can move her hand, and I can, it's about the best I could do. And I don't think anybody would know the difference. So try not to get so caught up in that. What I do know she needs is I'm going to scoop my hand under and bring her back in a different way. Does your back ever hurt?
Yeah, my upper back on my right side actually.
It's killing me. Just kidding. And some of you are training Reiki too, Reiki also. So I'm just feeling that Reiki moment here. Wherever you're trained or you do Reiki, nobody says you can't bring it in. I'm pretty certain she can feel my hand even though I'm not touching her. I don't think I would touch her right there, right now. But I can feel it, and so she can too, I believe. And then I'm just adding in that Reiki, I want to brush it out. So use what you can. If you don't know Reiki, don't do it. I'm going to come back to Virabhadrasana 1. No. What the hell is this called? Virasana. Yeah, close enough. And it's just a lot of work to do her legs. So actually I'm just going to do it with my hands because it's flexible. Like it would go by itself. But it's still lubricating my joint. We don't have to tell people this. Like I wouldn't talk this much, but I probably would. Believe it or not, guys, I wouldn't talk at all. It's hard. But then eventually, we might dialogue about some kind of movement that would help somebody. So from here you can see scooping under and pulling back. And then as I lean back with this knee, more traction for both of us. And it's just, so I don't know. I don't want to say too much here, except that rocking is a very soothing thing, and maybe that's part of where we're at in this time, but I can almost feel her inner self sigh. And I'm just like, oh, so here's what it is. You use your intuition. Don't do the other leg, so I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna listen to my intuition and have you come out to your belly, please. So probably the only, yeah, just so, you know what, you don't have to follow this program. Follow what's in here, follow what's in your gut. You know, maybe it would have been okay, but it didn't feel right in this moment. His heart's down, you know, so she can kind of soften into the earth. So her feet already turned in, she did that all by herself. She already knew it was coming, but they're not far enough apart, so I'm not gonna, and I have left her, and have my hands leave because I'm talking, telling you guys stuff. So scoop under here, and then just bring this like just enough, because you know you're walking in the middle here. And then I'll, you know, sometimes I stand up to walk. It's kind of fun. Gives you a break too, so you're kind of crouched down, bending my knees, going in and out. And I think she can take a fair amount of pressure, but let's say that we don't want to tickle people, but we also for sure don't want to hurt them. And I'm trying out which way is better, and they both felt good to me. So I think, you know, she's happy. I'm going to go home. And the other one, and I wouldn't, I mean, I'm doing this a little faster than I would, but I'm still just bend this knee and step out, and step. And then I'll do the heel, because you feel like this, it can take a little more. If somebody seems like they never turn their feet in, you probably wouldn't want to do that. Instead, you come down here and use your hands inward now. So my fingers are pointing in. And I think this actually feels better, but I'm not sure. And then it's the same gentle swaying palm walking. This time I have the opportunity to take her dancer's calves and roll them away and go side to side. Once you tell yourself to slow down, you'll do a much better job. It really is slow. Remember, it's about 90 minutes of this. And I think that was 3. I mean, if you do 3 and 3, it's really okay. It's just a guideline. And then you use your own, scared, but use your own judgment about what you're gonna do here in this crease. I'm gonna lean in because I think I can. I'm extending my back leg, it feels good for me. And I'm gonna work my way back down. So these are well-used legs. And yeah, I'll just do the same one. So I've got a nice amount of muscle in my hand and I'm rolling it out. My elbows are softened. Spine is elongated. My mouth is moving. And then you can, when you come back here, you can use your fists if you like, just going side to side. So if you're getting caught up in the, oh, it's not perfect stuff, don't do that. Just remember, have like a script for yourself. You know these movements. And if you did the same one 10 times, it would probably be okay with people. Just don't do it in the same spot. Then I'll use my fists to investigate this area. First I'm coming to the outer edge of her gluteus maximus. So with dancers, there's a particular pattern. And if you don't know it, it's really okay too, but you'll feel that their legs are really strong. So then I'm using my fist to find out where the bullseye is going to be for her buttocks here. It's right here, and they are strong. So there's 3 gluteuses, minimus, maximus, and medius. And you can tell which one she uses. So I could spend lots of time here. This sore in here, this one here. It's very. So now I'm going to come into the hamstrings with my knees. You just come onto your toes and gentle. So if you're 200 pounds or 150 pounds and Julie's, I don't know, 120 or something, I'm not gonna put my full weight on. Something I see sometimes. So right now I'm barely putting any weight. When I come up, I'm gonna put a little more. So I think we're about the same weight, but I still don't want to put full weight on her. I'm just gonna lean in here and just work on her back. Yep, working again. Don't go on the spine, just go on the side of the spine. And you can use your thumbs to do this if you want. And you can lengthen here too. And the one that people seem to feel weird about, is make sure you know where that bullseye is. There's no bones. She's so muscular. And then this is the one thing we ask somebody to reach back, please. My hands. And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna put their head up. So you're gonna, so on the count of 3, I'm gonna pull you up. 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna lean back and ask her to drop her head every time. And then release and check in, was that okay? And then lots of times I use this as a teachable moment and say, feel this right here. These muscles need to be engaged. Often people don't use them. So drawing the shoulder blades together. And we go further, drop your head please. There we go. So every time that will happen, you can do that one more time if you want. And just kind of rock. So because of my flexibility and the way it feels good to me, I step into this kind of forward fold, Uttanasana, wrap to midline. This feels better to me. I'm bending one knee and then the other. Just walking on my back. And I'm gonna go cross body. I got a nice amount of her scapula in my hand, her shoulder blade. And I'm lengthening. Lengthen, and somebody then has the ability to strengthen. So you might be thinking, well, I can't get in that position. Okay, then do it another way. You're gonna take a moment at the sacrum here to lengthen that too. So if you can't get into that forward fold position, then you can do it from the side. You can do it from, and we're gonna stretch the quadriceps a little bit now. Just bringing this leg towards her heel, towards her quad top. Good. And I'm looking to see if anything, like her hips come up. They didn't. I can slip my finger here. And take the other leg, cross it behind the knee. And then I feel a little resistance, so I'm just gonna go gentle. Yeah, she's not loving that too much, so go easy on it. Some people will be fine, So we get some ideas where people are stuck. Not people, their muscles get stuck. Interesting. So I noticed that her IT band is kind of stuck. So the division of our IT band is right here and right in the front. So as Thai body practitioners, you can use the heels of your hands to release it on this side. Or your knuckles, I think that would be too much for her. Which is better, this or this?
They're both good.
Okay, they're both good. So then I'm gonna use the heels of my hands because I think the knuckles, so it might, people might be like, oh yeah, do it harder, deeper, oh, that's not it. But it really isn't, there's no reason to do that. A lot of people get hurt during massages, and we never want to hurt people. It hurts so good. They drop a bunch of money, and then they leave feeling like they got hit by a truck. And then that rake is happening here. I'm just gonna sweep her down, because I want to. You don't have to. Okay, the other way. If you're doing table time, then you would have the face cradle of the donut. Now I have the opportunity to pincer grip these trapezius muscles. Don't miss that opportunity. Just get them in your hands. Use your body and just kind of. It's right about now when people might sigh. You can feel. I said this, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" The body just kind of sighs. Then I'm gonna walk my way back down. And use my own intuition about what spot is particularly sore, or what somebody told me. And from here I have a very nice, now if she moved, I'd be toast, I'd fall down. So that's how much I'm using my body, not my hands. And now I feel like using my arm, so I don't wear myself out. And she doesn't care. Remember to do this particular Sometimes I chop things. Let's make noise. You can use this opportunity too to come over here to her neck with a, just gently come on the either side of the spine. So lengthening a little vagal nerve. So I'm doing a little bit of, just a little bit of finger walking. Just saying hello to that. Now this is just for practitioners. If you're tired right now, just do a little bit of that scalp massage thing. So you're taking that fascia in your hands. So she had a headache earlier. So one of my goals, I wish I wasn't talking, but one of the goals would be to remove that headache, which is often muscular. Some of us lift our eyebrow a certain way. We don't think about it, we just do that. That can cause headaches. I don't know if that's what caused your headache. So now we're uneven. So I have to have her turn her head the other way and I have a better view. You want to minimize that. So now I'm in easy pose, whatever feels good for you. Actually, no, I'm in Jani Shasana. This is comfortable for me. If it's not for you, don't do it. Heart's still open. And what do you climb? Pincer grip maybe either side of the spine. I'm drawing this fascia up towards the occipital ridge. And around here, I'll do a little finger walking. People just really like it, it's good. Making sure she's breathing, making sure my breath is good. It's a little hard to talk and do that at the same time. There's a lot of treasures in this area for all people. By treasures, I mean, it can be sore here. It could also be very soothing. And I don't feel like I got enough of this shoulder in the hand. You can do two at once. Really, what I'm doing is pushing them away. Just think about what happens when shoulders rise up. And you want them to go down and back. If you drag fascia one way, do not drag it back up. I see that a lot. I don't understand it, but you see how that would be a great idea. So she's like, her body's tight. She's happy now. And that's good. She's happy, I'm happy. If your client or your receiver is happy, you're happy. It's great. We could probably do this for an hour and she would like it. That won't help you guys much. So scoop under here. And then just bring this side just enough because you know you're walking in the middle here. And then I'll, sometimes I stand up to walk. It's kind of fun. Gives you a break too, so you're kind of crouched down, bending my knees, going in and out. And I think she can take a fair amount of pressure, but let's say that we don't want to tickle people, but we also for sure don't want to hurt them. And I'm trying out which way is better, and they both felt good to me. So I think, she's happy. I'm going to go home. And the other one, and I'm doing this a little faster than I would, but I'm still going to bend this knee and step out. And step. And then I'll do the heel because you feel like this, it can take a little more. If somebody seems like they never turn their feet in, you probably wouldn't want to do that. Instead, you'd come down here and use your hands inward now. So my fingers are pointing in. And I think this actually feels better, but I'm not sure. And then it's the same gentle swaying palm walking. This time I have the opportunity to take her dancer's calves and roll them away. Side to side. Once you tell yourself to slow down, you'll do a much better job. It really is slow. Remember, it's about 90 minutes of this. And that was 3. I mean, if you do 3 and 3, it's really okay. It's just a guideline. And then you use your own, scared, but use your own judgment about what you're gonna do here in this crease. I'm gonna lean in because I think I can. I'm extending my back leg, it feels good for me. So these are well-used legs. And yeah, I'll just do the same one. So I've got a nice amount of muscle in my hand and I'm rolling it out. My elbows are softened. Spine is elongated. My mouth is moving. Yeah, then you can come back here. You can use your fists if you like, just going side to side. So if you're getting caught up in the oh, it's not perfect stuff, don't do that. Just remember, have like a script for yourself. You know these movements, and if you did the same one 10 times, it would probably be okay with people. Just don't do it in the same spot. Then I'll use my fists to investigate this area. Person coming to the outer edge of her gluteus maximus. So when the dancers are in the neck and the brain, the head. So this motion looks like this. I know you guys had a lot of trouble with it, so I'm gonna come onto my toes here and then you'll dive and see. And again, it's not gonna feel good to her if I'm like, you know. So I'm gonna use my palms again. They're getting a little bit worn out. It's not the first person that I worked with today. So I could use this part of my hand, or I can use my fists, but I'm feeling like this is better for her. As you're doing this, you know, lots of stuff can happen, can come up for people. So you want to be mindful to watch facial expressions. And as I transition to this pose, remember we could do it this way with the feet. And I don't feel like doing that right now, so I'm not. I'm in a V shape. And then I'm going to use my fists here. So slow. So just for fun, I'm going to do this. How does that feel compared to that? And it's
So much better slow.
It really is, because we're moving, and if you want to affect a change in people versus just say you did a thing, you know, we want to change things. You can roll your hand this way, like that. So it's a pretty good rule of thumb, to say you're always going to move the muscles away from the bone and kind of down. It's just thinking about our patterns in life. And then scooping my hand under and just softly and gently. You might warn people sometimes that this is not a chiropractic thing. And be real careful with this bottom hand. I mean, it's happened to me where I'm really holding on tight to this head. I don't need to. It's there. It's where I want it. And then we use this fist and gently traction her neck towards the other way. Well, do this here. You could do this like for a long time. I don't think anybody would complain. And I just did this with my bottom hand. I have to be mindful because you don't need to squeeze the bottom hand at all. You might do something you don't want it to. And then use your fingers on the neck. Try it this way. And then I'll just rotate to the other side. You can see from that face, this is working nicely for her, especially when I stop talking. Now, all I have is her hand in my head. I mean, her head is in my, it's actually her neck, okay? That's it, her hand in my head. And then my thumbs are on either side of the neck, and I'm just drawing that. Think about what our necks do all the time. And then I'm gonna do the finger waves, just really slow, gentle, quiet. And then there's an opportunity when you get to the occipital ridge, I would do that for a lot longer too, to mount your fingers in, shaking up, checking her face, her breathing, she's not like freaking out, good, and pull in traction. And get into the amygdala. And then I don't know if I did this, but you can take your fists, come under the neck. If you're not comfortable doing this, don't. And then just go that way, and then don't miss the opportunity to come this way again. So, fists, and then I have her occipital ridge in my hands, and I'm tractioning again. She likes it, I can tell. And my thumbs are a little busy right now on either side of her spine. Just kind of drawing the muscle away from her neck. She has a tendency to grit her teeth, I believe. So don't do that. And then this, it's not exactly like a shampoo or running fingers through hair because it's a pretty firm grip. I'm moving the muscles that most people don't know they have. So this is probably the only time I'm really kind of having my fingers stiffer. I can use my palms, but they got tired, so my fingers are moving this. If she does this when she has a headache, it might help. And I have
it all the time, actually.
Do you? Some things it's just like so much better when somebody else does it. This is true. But does it help?
Yeah, it does help.
So I don't know if I taught this, but you can do 1 or 2 at a time. This is really great for Shavasana adjustments. And you don't, maybe you have 10 people. You can start here, and when you come up, you just kind of Do we do faces? I think so. Start at the chin, go underneath the jaw. It's very tender and it's a gentle touch. It feels weird, but it's good for her. So this I'm just gonna do, but teach you guys that. Yep, you definitely clench your jaw. And then after you do this, you can come underneath the cheekbones, which hold a lot of emotion and tension. And it doesn't feel wonderful, but it's worth it. And then at the temples. This up to do that. And now she's sufficiently relaxed. You can turn the lights out and she'll probably go to sleep. This right here, I like to rock and roll. No, just kidding. I like to rock people. There's research that tells me that this is a good thing. If it was a nurturing relationship as a baby, then you were rocked. Rocking chairs. But you don't want to go and rock somebody. Just, I don't think I could stress how much this needs to be slow. So when you're first the neck and the brain, the head. So this motion looks like this. I know you guys had a lot of trouble with it, so I'm gonna come onto my toes here and then you'll dive and see. And again, it's not gonna feel good to her if I'm like, so I'm gonna use my palms again. They're getting a little bit worn out. It's not the first person that I worked with today, so I could use this part of my hand, or I can use my fists, but I'm feeling like this is better for her. As you're doing this, lots of stuff can happen, can come up for people. So you want to be mindful to watch facial expressions. And as I transition to this pose, remember we could do it this way with the feet. I don't feel like doing that right now, so I'm not. I'm in a V shape. And then I'm going to use my fists here. So slow. So just for fun, I'm going to do this. How does that feel compared to that? And it's
so much better slow.
It really is, because we're moving, and if you want to affect a change in people versus just say you did a thing, we want to change things. You can roll your hand this way, that. So it's a pretty good rule of thumb, to say you're always going to move the muscles away from the bone and kind of down. It's just thinking about our patterns in life. And then scooping my hand under and just softly and gently. You might warn people sometimes that this is not a chiropractic thing. And be real careful with this bottom hand. It's happened to me where I'm really holding on tight to this head. I don't need to. It's there. It's where I want it. And then we use this fist and gently traction her neck towards the other way. Do this here. You could do this like for a long time. I don't think anybody would complain. And I just did this with my bottom hand. I have to be mindful because you don't need to squeeze the bottom hand at all. You might do something you don't want it to. And then use your fingers on the neck. Try it this way. And then I'll just rotate to the other side. You can see from that face, this is working nicely for her, especially when I stop talking. Now, all I have is her hand in my head. I mean, her head is in my, it's actually her neck, okay? That's it, my hand in my head. And then my thumbs are on either side of the neck, and I'm just drawing that. Think about what our necks do all the time. And then I'm gonna do the finger waves, just really slow, gentle, quiet. And then there's an opportunity when you get to the occipital ridge, I would do that for a lot longer too, to mount your fingers in, shaking it up, checking her face, her breathing, she's not like freaking out, good, and pull in traction. And get into the amygdala. And then I don't know if I did this, but you can take your fists, come under the neck. If you're not comfortable doing this, don't. And then just go that way, and then don't miss the opportunity to come this way again. So, fists, and then I have her occipital ridge in my hands, and I'm traction again. She likes it, I can tell. And my thumbs are a little busy right now on either side of her spine. Just kind of drawing the muscle away from her neck. She has a tendency to grit her teeth, I believe. So don't do that. And then this, it's not exactly like a shampoo or running fingers through hair because it's a pretty firm grip. I'm moving the muscles that most people don't know they have. So this is probably the only time I'm really kind of having my fingers stiffer. I can use my palms, but they got tired, so my fingers are moving this. If she does this when she has a headache, it might help. And I have
it all the time, actually.
Do you? Some things it's just like so much better when somebody else does it. This is true. But does it help?
Yeah, it does help.
So I don't know if I taught this, but you can do one or two at a time. This is really great for Shavasana adjustments. And you don't, maybe you have 10 people. You can start here, and when you come up, just kind of do we do faces? I think so. Start at the chin, go underneath the jaw. It's very tender and it's a gentle touch. It feels weird, but it's good for her. So this I'm just gonna do, but teach you guys that. Yep, you definitely clench your jaw. And then after you do this, you can come underneath the cheekbones, which hold a lot of emotion and tension. And it doesn't feel wonderful, but it's worth it. And then at the temples. This up to do that. And now she's sufficiently relaxed. I can turn the lights out and she'll probably go to sleep. This right here, I like to rock and roll. No, I'm just kidding. I like to rock people. There's research that tells me that this is a good thing. If it was a nurturing relationship as a baby, then you were rocked. Rocking chairs. But you don't want to go and rock somebody. Just, I don't think I could stress how much this needs to be slow. So when you're first feels weird to do it like this. Jesus Christ. You can't even see me now because your belly's bigger than me. Look. Right? I guess I have to go to the difference.
How's that feel?
That's
Better?
yeah.
Reg is still sick. Even my mitts hurt. You can see it's just your leg. I think the upper angle is actually better.